In this lesson, we're going to be looking at solving vertex form. Our objectives: understand how to find line of symmetry, understand how to solve a quadratic with a graph, understand how to solve a quadratic with vertex form, and understand how to find roots of a quadratic. Vocabulary: root, x-intercept, point where y value is 0. Line of symmetry, line that cuts parabola into mirror images where the equation is x equals the x value of the vertex. So here we have a graph of a parabola. What we're going to do is just kind of figure out some of the things that we can tell based off of this graph. And there's actually a lot that you can figure out. First, the a value is given to us. It's -1. Sometimes we're given that. Sometimes we have to figure it out. We'll just go the simple route this time. The vertex should be very simple. It is the turning point of the graph. Here it looks like it's 1, 2, 3. And looks like it's 3, 4. Remember, we just find our middle point where the graph seems to turn, and that's our vertex. So it looks like it's about 3, 4 in this one. So based off of our A and our vertex, we can create vertex form, which is going to be y equals our A value, which is -1, x minus our vertex x value, so this is the h. Remember, our vertex is h comma k, so we're going to minus our h, which is 3. We square that. Don't forget the square, that's forgotten a lot. And then we're going to add our k value, which is 4. So now we have vertex form. Line of symmetry is actually pretty simple also. The line of symmetry, I'm going to draw it here, actually cuts the parabola in half so that both sides are mirror images of each other. So it actually goes right through the vertex. And if you notice, each side we could fold it and they would fold right on top of each other. That's what we're looking for here. So this is our line of symmetry. The line of symmetry is actually pretty simple. It is x equals the x value of the vertex. So our vertex is 3, 4. Therefore, the 3 is our x value. So our line of symmetry is x equals 3. Another thing that's pretty simple with a graph is identifying the roots. Our roots are right here. They're where it crosses the x-axis. So we've got our x-intercepts, or our roots, right at these spots. Well, this first point is 1, 0. And our second spot is, let's see, this would be 5, 0. So these are our roots. Notice with the roots, a 0 in our y value. Last thing we can do is we can solve. We can also find x values, but we can solve. So if y is 3, what we would do is we would go up to 3 on the y-axis, and we would just find out where it crosses. So this one crosses twice. Then we would go down and find our x values. Looks like it is at x equals 2 and at x equals 4. The next thing that we want to be able to do is to solve an equation rather than just using the graph. So in this first version, I have an equation in vertex form, and we want to solve if y is 14. So what we're going to do is we're going to put 14 in for y. And we're going to solve. We can use box or balance method. I prefer balance method when I'm doing a quadratic. So I'm going to add 4 to both sides. 18 equals 2x plus 1 squared. Divide by 2. 9 equals x plus 1 squared. Now, to get rid of a square, we have to square root. If you remember, whenever you square root, you actually have two possible answers. You have a negative and a positive version. So we're going to square root this, and that's going to give us a positive 3 equals x plus 1, and negative 3 equals x plus 1. At this point, we just have to solve both problems, so we'll get two answers. So 2 equals x, and negative 4 equals x. So there are two x values. In this other version, we want to find the roots. So one thing that we have to know about the roots is y equals 0. Well, in this case, it's not y. Y is known as f of x. So it's f of x equals 0. So we're going to take f of x out. We're going to put 0 in. So we're going to have the problem 0 equals x minus 5 squared minus 4. And we're going to solve this equation. Again, we're at the square root portion, and when we square root, we're going to have two possible answers, a negative and a positive. And from here, we just solve. So we have our two x values, but in this one they're asking for roots. So it's probably best that we actually write them as roots. So this would be 7, 0 was our y value, and 3, 0. In the previous one, if we wanted to write that as ordered pairs, we would just have to use our y value of 14. Alright, this has been Solving with Vertex Form. If there's any part of this that you didn't understand, make sure you pause, rewind, and rewatch, and bring your questions to class. Thank you.